Hey everybody, if you want to know 3 reasons why you're not getting teaming partners to call you back, you need to stick around because we're going to talk about it right now. There are 3 key reasons that a potential teaming partner will never return your phone call. The first one is you haven't differentiated yourself from everybody else that calls them, because typically, guess what? If you're calling a prime contractor and saying, hey, there's this opportunity we want to go after, we want to work with you guys, guess what's probably already happened? Probably 100 times. Somebody else has found them, probably similar to what your size, and they have decided, hey, we want to go after this too. They picked up the phone, they called them, guess what? Now there's both of you trying to call, or 100 of you trying to call, and nobody has differentiated themselves. So this is kind of what the voicemail you leave probably sounds like. Hey, this is Mike over at ABC. We do XYZ type of work. We saw this opportunity, and we want to team with you. Why would I call you back? There's absolutely 0 reason for me to call you back. So in order to get over obstacle number 1, you have to differentiate yourself from everybody out there. One of the ways to do that is actually tied to number 2, where you actually call the customer and gather some intelligence. So imagine if I called the teaming partner and said, hey, this is Mike over at ABC Consulting, and we've been speaking to the customer about this opportunity. We've got some really great insight into what's going on this project, and I think we'll make the team very, very competitive. See the difference between the two voicemails that were just left? That's a great way to differentiate yourself. Now, item number 2, and this is a big one. Item number 2 is not knowing the customer. If you don't know the customer, so like let's say this opportunity that you just found out about is really the first time you've done any work on the customer, why would I want to work with you? There's no reason for me to want to work with you in any way. So the thing is, how are you going to get to know the customer? How are you going to do some of the actual work? I know that's a 4-letter word to a lot of people, but you've got to actually do some work to actually get to know the customer a little bit. And you can do that, again, remember in number 1, where I was talking about differentiation, I talked about actually calling the customer. So you don't have to spend 6 months learning about the customer, but you can actually spend some amount of time getting to know their organization, getting to know who they are, who the players are, that sort of thing. You could spend 2 or 3 days researching that online. You could spend 2 or 3 days making phone calls to the customer so that when you actually call the teaming partner, you actually have gathered some intelligence and you know about the customer. You may not know all of the players and you may not have a great relationship with them yet, but you have made some phone calls, you've talked to some people, you've done some work. And that is a very big deal to a teaming partner. So that was number 2, is you didn't know the customer. So that was a quick way to show you how to actually get to know the customer. So item number 3 is about value. So what value have you provided to the actual teaming partner? So that's a big deal. So if they don't think you're going to provide any value to them or the customer, why would they want to call you back? So that's a big factor for you to think about. What value do you provide? Again, a lot of it ties back to the number 2 in there of actually getting to know the customer. So if you actually provide some value of saying, hey, we've been talking to the customer, here's some insight we've gotten, here's some intelligence we've gathered, those sort of things, that's value right there. But when we dig a little deeper, let's talk about value that you will provide on the team. Hey, we've got a great team that is very well versed in all the proposal aspects of things. So we understand proposal process from A to Z. You know, our win rate on proposals is about 35-40%. We're going to dedicate this amount of time. So now you're talking about how you're actually going to contribute to the proposal process and that sort of thing. We're going to dedicate some time. That piece, you know, that's very, very important for a teaming partner to hear that. But the big thing is, here are 3 or 4 bullet points that are very, let's say, rare on the RFP. So you've taken a look at an RFP or whatever it may be, and you've noticed there are 3 or 4 pieces that you hit. Your company just nails, and you're like, it's so rare to have this specialty, or this is something we knock out of the park, or whatever it may be. What's the value you're going to provide on the contract? Hey, we can knock out this piece, and I know you guys, don't have that staffing or whatever it may be. We specialize in this. What area can you come in and provide just an enormous amount of value? Because that's something that will make a teaming partner want to call you back. So real quick, what were the three? Number one is you need to differentiate yourself. Number two is you need to know the customer. And number three, you've got to provide value. If you do those three things, you will most likely get a call back from every single teaming partner out there. Now, here's a bonus tip. Pay very close attention to this. You do not want to reveal everything you know about the customer on the first call without a teaming agreement in place. Get a teaming agreement in place before you spill the beans. You can talk to them about the fact that you have been speaking to the customer. Hey, we've been speaking to the customer. We've been gathering intelligence. We've been gathering it about these 3 or 4 different things. Don't spill the beans until you have the teaming agreement in place. So follow that advice, and you are sure to get some callbacks from a lot of people, and you'll probably get on the team of your choice. So good luck with that. Let us know how that's working for you. Pop a comment below this video, and we'll see you next time.